To me, Czerny's Opus 849 number 7 is a dual etude. On the one hand, we see broken chords written in a two-voice texture. When it appears in the left hand, it is an accompanimental line. When it switches to the right, it becomes a melodic line. In addition, we see articulation notations ranging from single-note staccatos to two-note slurs to long legato lines. Let's talk about each aspect in detail. To begin with, the left hand starts with broken chords. We will follow the same steps discussed earlier, starting with blocking, to strengthen palm, to understand where the wrist stays, and to understand how to place the thumb and the pinky. Then we will do the blocking, sustain 3 and 1, while we rotate the 5. This will secure a rotation as we play through the passage, highlight the bass, and allow us to free up our arm. Next, we will play as written. Careful that we're not dipping the wrist up and down as we go from 5 to 1. If we look carefully at the score, we will recognize that the first note of each group is double-stepped. This means the bass should be highlighted through volume and through length as it prolongs the entire quarter note. This adds the finger paddling effect we discussed earlier. In the second section, the quarter note basses become half notes. This means we should move our forearm forward and backwards so we can do a little bit of shaping and to make the long note move forward and essentially sustain a little bit longer than just attacking and waiting. When the broken chords switch to the right hand, what we're hearing now is similar to number 4, where we have a top line that serves as a melody. So the practice that we talked about with the left hand in terms of rotation now is applied to the right. So we keep the 1 and 2 under as we rotate towards the pinky. Because of the legato nature of this line, we have to use our body to move forward and backwards to connect the notes together better. This is much easier to connect the notes together than if I were to stay flat. Then the notes tend to go downwards, which then flattens the entire line. Let's now talk about articulation. When we have staccatos, we have 2 directions that we can go. One is start from the key and go upwards. The second is starting from above the key and coming downwards. You can hear that the latter is much louder than the former. So the first one going from the key versus the second one going from the air. It is also longer than the staccato beginning on the key. When we take a look at the beginning, we start with a forte, but we have 8th notes followed by an 8th note rest. We can try both ways, so that's going from the key and up. Let's try the opposite. You can hear this is absolutely not working because it is already too heavy and there is no playfulness to the line. Let's talk about 2-note slurs next. In bar number 4, we see a half note E going into a quarter note D followed by a rest. In general, 2-note slurs consist of a drop. And instead of thinking about this as an up, think about it as a release. So we move towards the D. There is no prior movement. We just play the D from key. Then we release the key and shift. So oftentimes the mistake here is students will do the drop, but they will pop up on the second note, essentially making it even louder than the first. So let's recap one more time. Drop, play the D, release it, and then shift. Let's talk about long legatos. Going back to the same phrase. When the right hand has the top melody, let's take away the 16th note and only focus on the top. If each note represents a syllable, what does it take for us to connect all the syllables together into one sentence? Let's think about this. How about we try going deep, come back to the surface, forward, down, back, forward. This large arm motion will help you to thread the single notes together. Let's talk about how to create a rounded sound. In general, what we're trying to do is use as much flesh as possible. Go slowly into the keys and counterclockwise add a little half circle at the fingertip. So what we're doing is rounding out the sound quality versus a direct attack that just slams into the key. A common mistake here is once students understand how to create the rounded sound, they tend to do the same motion over and over and over. So this is a case where too much of a good thing is still a bad thing. What we want to do is really try to vary the amount of weight, the amount of placement we apply on each note so we can connect them into a long phrase. Finally, let's talk a little bit about shaping. As always, we can move our body forward, back, as we want to crescendo and decrescendo, or add momentum and relax. Let's try the beginning. Lean towards the E and then relax. Now bounce up and down. Go in and release. Now I have a high C and I want to hang here. So now move your body up to the C. Stay here. Stay up. And then now go down with the chords.